Alright, today we are recapping number 6 of Saban's Go-Go Power Rangers, written by Ryan Parrott and illustrated by Dan Mora. Also, be sure to visit your local Target and get these awesome Power Ranger collectibles. As you can see, I picked out my favorites. These bad boys are on the shelf and in stores now. The issue starts off with some flashbacks to Rita conquering several worlds, and the aliens of those worlds submitting to her. It's at the world Migra that we learn the character Squat was given to Rita Repulsa as a peace offering. His parents had nothing to give her except their only child. So, if you ever wondered how this character managed to find his way on Rita's team, this is his backstory. Flashing over to Angel Grove High School, we can see Jason the Red Ranger is somewhat anxious and nervous to talk to Trini about the homecoming dance, as we recently learned of her feelings for Jason. We then see Kim, Billy, and Zach discussing who Zach's secret admirer is and what he's going to do about confronting his potential date. Bulk is still running for homecoming king, and Skull is his right-hand man as they are promoting and getting votes around the school. We then flash over to Matt and his family as they are at the drive-in movie. Of course, this family night goes south quickly once Putties and Goldar tear through the movie screen. Zordon notifies the Rangers, and most of the team morphs into the scene, except for Billy, the Blue Ranger, who is currently in an interview with the organization Promethea. If you have been reading Boom Studios' Mighty Morphin Power Ranger comics, written by Kyle Huggins, the organization will definitely ring a bell. Also, be sure to check out my previous recaps to get clarification if you are unfamiliar. The Rangers are fighting off Goldar and the Putties. During the fight segment, we see commentary from Billy as he talks about what makes him unique to join Promethea, which gets fairly heartfelt and personal. We'll be interested to see how that opportunity wraps up for him. We then see Matt, or should I say the imposter evil Matt, surrounded by Putties and tells them to go away and go help Goldar. The Black Ranger briefly seen Matt conversing with Putties and had that look of suspicion through his visor. The Rangers continue fighting Goldar, and once the Blue Ranger finally teleports into the scene, he is snatched up in a chokehold by Goldar himself. Then Matt runs a van into Goldar's back, causing him to free the Blue Ranger, and Goldar and the Putties then retreat. Now at the command center, Billy explains that he had something important going on that caused his tardiness for teleporting into the fight. Jason and Trini both explain how Billy or someone else could have been killed if they don't work smarter and together. Kim then stresses her frustrations about how Matt and the people they all care about seem to be getting targeted. Zordon assures the team they are doing everything in their power to protect the Rangers' loved ones and friends. We then flash over to Rita's moon base, where the real Matt Reeves is being held hostage. He won't eat and is definitely frustrated with his current situation, which is understandable. After kicking his food tray on the floor and eyeing a fork by his foot, I'm sure he's thinking of defense or some form of escape. Back to Angel Grove at Ernie's Juice Bar, the friends are sitting at a table with one another discussing the recent monster attack and how Matt was super brave. Imposter Matt then hears Rita's voice talking to him, and he excuses himself from the table and the friends, and then converses with Rita in the back alley. Rita cautions the monster to not get too close to the teens, and he promises to deliver all 5 of them to her. We then see Matt playing football with the Angel Grove High team, and in the stands, Zach asks Trini if she notices anything different about Matt. Zach goes on to say he did notice Matt said something to the Putties the other night when he was surrounded by them, but couldn't make out what it was. So, in other words, suspicions are rising. Bulk and Skull got hooked up with dates to the homecoming dance. And maybe it's just me, but every time I see them in this comic, I always hear that comedic theme music playing. That's just the curse of growing up with the 90s Power Rangers, and every time I see Bulk and Skull, I'm telling you, I hear that theme. After the winning game, Matt converses with Kimberly, and she tries to go in for a kiss, but Matt strangely backs away as if he were uncomfortable. Now, I know he's an evil alien imposter, but when the Pink Ranger tries to give you a kiss, you let that happen, alien or not. I'm just saying. I'm sure this will even further, rise those suspicions. As for, Matt's behavior. And Kim, she sort of touched on this a few issues back, as she even noticed, he was walking different and seemed to be talking differently. So I'm sure this will, definitely, further those suspicions as we dig deeper into these issues. Lastly, in this issue, Billy tells Kim he might have a solution to protecting Matt and better helping the team. He then goes on to say maybe Matt should be the new Blue Ranger. And at that point, I was like, Billy, my dude, what are you talking about? I'm sure the opportunity for Promethea definitely, has some influence in his thoughts. And again, if you've read Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series, we all know the outcome of this opportunity as it was talked about. I'm really digging how the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series and the Go-Go comics are sort of overlapping, and we see those connections from the past onto the present. I did enjoy this issue, and I'm curious to see just how the Rangers will save the real Matt, or if something more tragic might happen. If you are new to my channel, please be sure to subscribe as I recap all of these Power Ranger comics and more. Share your thoughts about this comic in the comments, and I will see you all next issue. Until next time, guys, wham, bam, boom.